The senator from Georgia.
Mr. President, I rise to pay tribute to a person who's had a tremendous impact on my life and my career in the Senate, and also a tremendous impact on my country, the United States of America. I still remember to this day the time Mitch McConnell called me in 2007 and said, "Hey, we've got an opening for a Republican on foreign relations and nobody will take it. Will you take it?" I didn't know if that was a benefit, a perk, or whatever, but I said, anytime you're offered a gift, don't look a gift horse in the face, so I did it. 2 days later, Joe Biden saw me at the committee and said, "I'm glad you're joining our committee. I'm glad to have you. I've got an opening on the Africa subcommittee, and I can't get a Republican to take it. Will you do it?" And I said, "Mr. Biden, I've never been to Africa." He said, "Well, you will soon. How about taking it?" And I did, and I've been to Africa 12 times since. It's become a passion in my career, and I give Vice President Biden a lot of credit for the influence he had on that. I also remember the day when the mock swearing-in took place down on the second floor, and I had my 9 grandchildren here to watch me sworn in the Senate. The mock signing ceremony, Joe stood there and we all raised our hand and repeated the mock ceremony that we had done on the floor. And then Joe greeted each one of my grandchildren one by one as they walked by. And when little Jack, who then 7 years old, stopped, Joe Biden said, "Jack, what do you like about the Capitol?" And Jack said, "Well, Mr. Vice President, there's no Lego store." Joe Biden said, "The next time you come here, there will be one. I want to tell the Vice President that he's coming on January the 2nd to see me sworn in again." I've already bought the Lego box. It's on the desk in my hideaway, and I'm going to tell him that Vice President Joe made sure he had Legos when he came back to the Capitol. You know, the real character of a man and the real credit to a man is what influence he has on children, and I can tell you from that story that that's one of many that Joe Biden has had. On me personally, I'll never forget the day Joe Biden called me as Vice President of the United States and said, "Johnny, I've got the mayor of Baltimore and the mayor of Philadelphia going with me to Panama City next week to look at the deepening of the Panama Canal, and I know Savannah's port is important to you. I know you've been fighting with us to get the authorization you need to deepen the port of Savannah. How about flying with me down there and let's take a look at it and let's do a press conference together?" And I did, and he did, and we did, and today the port of Savannah is being deepened to 47 feet. Panamax ships will be sailing through it in 4 more years, and I'm convinced it would not have happened at the level of the administration had it not been for Joe Biden, the Vice President of the United States, but more importantly, my friend. Joe, I don't have the words adequate to tell you how much I appreciate you as a person and as a leader, but there's a little poem I know that really says more about what you really are than anything I could say. I'd rather see a good person than hear about one any day. And I'd rather have a good person walk with me than merely point the way. For my eyes are better pupils and more willing than my ear, and fine counsel is confusing, but examples are always clear. And the best of all the people are the ones that live the creeds, for to see the good in action is what everybody needs. Well, I'll be very glad to do it if you let me see it done, and I can watch your hands in action, but your tongue too fast may run. And the lectures you deliver may be very wise and very true, but I'd rather get my lectures by observing what you do, for I may misunderstand you and the high advice you give, but I shall never misunderstand the way you act and the way you live. Joe, you've lived the life of a patriot. You act like a gentleman. You're my friend, and may God bless you and your family. And thank you for your service to the country and your friendship to me. And I yield back.